Someone says something that should break you. I don't love you, we're letting you go, or that's actually really embarrassing. For half a second, your body understands. Your throat closes, your stomach drops. Then, without your permission, something else happens. You laugh. Too loud, too fast. You make a joke that sounds like it belongs to someone who isn't bleeding. Everyone relaxes, they even chuckle. They think you're taking it well. What they're actually watching is not you being strong. It's your nervous system refusing to let the truth reach the surface. Why does your brain make you perform comedy in the exact moment you should be allowed to fall apart? This response is a complex map of social survival scripts. Forensically, it begins with nervous laughter, an involuntary physical event that occurs when the body is overloaded with a stress the mind cannot immediately process. It is a physiological release valve. From there, it can become deflective humor. This is a strategy, conscious or not, to pivot away from a threatening topic. When a performance review turns to news of your redundancy, the joke, "Does this mean I should cancel the new business cards?" serves as a powerful distraction, creating a wall against the conversation's emotional consequences. When this humor is turned inward, it becomes self-defeating humor. This is characterized by making oneself the butt of the joke to mask insecurity. When a mistake is pointed out, the immediate response is, "Of course I did. My 2 brain cells are currently fighting for 3rd place." The user invites others to laugh at them, signaling their own pain should not be taken seriously. Finally, there is fawning. It's a trauma response, one of the 4 primal reactions alongside fight, flight, and freeze. Fawning is the attempt to appease a perceived threat by becoming more appealing. It's a script of people-pleasing designed to diffuse conflict by abandoning one's own needs to serve the emotional state of others. This laughter is not a conscious choice. It's an automatic protocol, a machine running a program. The system is executing a series of sophisticated psychological maneuvers. First, it's an appeasement and submission signal, like a submissive animal showing its belly. The joke is an offering. It says, "I'm not a threat. You don't have to attack me because I'll attack myself for you." By making yourself the punchline, you voluntarily take a lower status, preemptively adopting the role of the fool to prevent someone else from casting you in it. Second, it's a move for narrative control. In a moment of humiliation, you're made powerless. The story being told is one of your failure. By seizing the moment with a joke, you hijack the narrative. You become the storyteller, the one who defines the event's meanings. You are not the victim of shame. You are the author of a comedic moment. Finally, it's a form of dissociation. The joke creates a split between the outer performer and the inner witness. The person who tells the joke appears confident and in control, while the person who feels the pain is silence. The performance arrives before the emotion has a chance to register, creating a disconnect where the user may not know what they're genuinely feeling anymore. This armor comes at a price. The quiet damage accumulates over years. The first cost is that you teach others not to register your pain. You have given them explicit permission to laugh at the wound, signaling that your feelings are not a serious matter. This makes it nearly impossible for anyone to offer genuine support, because your performance has convinced them that you don't need it. The more insidious cost is that you stop registering your own pain. The performance becomes so reflexive that the joke arrives before the hurt. You create a permanent disconnect between the public joker and the private self. The inner witness, the part of you that knows the truth of your experience, and the outer performer drift further and further apart. The more convincing the laugh becomes, the harder it is to convince anyone you are ever in pain. Over time, you may lose the ability to even identify your own authentic feelings, leaving a hollow sense of unreality. This armor is often forged in environments where the open expression of pain was unsafe. It's an adaptation that once made sense. In family systems with emotionally volatile or narcissistic parents, a child learns that their safety depends on managing the caregiver's emotional state. Expressing sadness or fear might be met with punishment, dismissal, or a caregiver's own overwhelming distress. In these environments, the child discovers that being the funny one is a survival strategy. Humor becomes a tool to de-escalate tension, to become entertaining rather than a burden. This pattern is also learned in social groups where vulnerability was always turned into content, where any admission of weakness becomes fodder for ridicule. The nervous system learns that abandoning one's own needs to appease others is the price of admission to a relationship, and this adaptation, once a key to survival, now runs automatically in places it doesn't belong. The front door clicks shut, the house is quiet, the echo of laughter, theirs then yours, finally fades. The smile you held up like a shield is now lowered, and it's heavier than you realized. The muscles in your face ache from holding the mask. You replay the scene, the cutting remark, your brilliant improvised joke, the wave of relief that rippled through the room. Everyone was so impressed with how well you handled it, how effortlessly you turned discomfort into entertainment. They chuckled, they nodded, they thought you were taking it well. But now, alone in the silence, the stage lights dim. You're left with the one thing the joke could not erase, the original wound, untouched and waiting. It isn't just waiting to be felt, it's waiting to be acknowledged. But the pathway to that acknowledgement has been paved over, buried under layers of performative resilience. The nervous system, having delivered its rapid-fire defense, retreats, leaving behind the quiet, insidious question, did that just happen to me? Or did I merely observe it happening to someone else I play on command? This isn't a quirky habit, it's a nervous system strategy that has begun to cannibalize the person using it. The performance is over, and the audience is gone, and you're left to confront the haunting observation that the joke has become your first language, the reflex that silences deeper truths, and the truth itself is a language you're no longer fluent in. The silence is not peaceful, it's a profound estrangement from the self. So, as the echo of that performative laughter finally fades, and you're left with the quietness of your own thoughts, I invite you to share. What have you observed in those solitary after-show moments? What hidden truths have you glimpsed when the smile was finally lowered, and the original wound, untouched, awaits your unvarnished gaze? Your observations, deeply personal and perhaps disquieting, contribute to this collective dissection of the human condition. Let's explore these quiet curses together, not to fix them, but to truly see them.